All right, we'll take questions around the room. First question in the front, Ira.
Couple of things. First, the lineup report about Kevin starting in place of Caleb. Can you confirm that? Will you confirm that?
I cannot confirm that, nor will I.
Okay.
I think that's Jared and Charles, coming up with this. But look, I'm still waiting to officially get word that Caleb and Gabe are going. Although, it'll take a lot to have them sit out, and then I'll just figure out my official lineup in the next hour or so.
And has Tyler returned to full contact work? And again, because there was a report that he looked amazing at your practice yesterday. So contact work for Tyler, and if you just roughly can give us an idea, how has he been looking at practices?
Yeah, I think it's okay to give you a little bit of that info. He is progressing. We're really encouraged by the progress. He started doing contact work as soon as we got to Denver. We have to maintain perspective. We want to be responsible about this. We're all excited and encouraged by his progress, but we'll get back to Miami. All we're doing is just sticking to the process, trying to stack positive days, also understanding this is not like trying to return to a game in December. This is the finals, so there is a little bit of context to this.
Steve, second row on the right.
Steve Ashburn, NBA.com. You spoke previously during the playoffs about an influence that Rick Adelman was, that you looked up to him. I don't know how active he was in working with you, but the fact he's getting the Chuck Daly Lifetime Achievement Award today. Any other thoughts in terms of his career, particularly as it pertained to you?
Yeah, I think I mentioned this the other day. When I grew up in the Portland Trailblazer family, organizations were so much smaller. So it was the Adelman kids and the Spoelstras running around, and there weren't like a ton of other kids. The Shaminskys. He's probably had as much of an impact and inspiration for me to get into coaching as anybody. I had never even thought about it before that. I feel like I grew up in the Adelman's household, and RJ and I were very close. All the kids were very close. Kathy and I went to college together. I knew David since he was super small, but that was the first time that I saw what NBA coaching was all about. Even though I grew up and Jack Ramsey was our coach, I was younger at that time, and then when you're a teenager, all you're thinking about is you want to play. You're not thinking about being an old crusty coach, So when I saw his home office and then saw how he approached the game and saw that you could be very normal and humble and understated and still excel at coaching, I don't know. It just lit a spark in me, and I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. I never ever thought about the coaching profession, before. So he was the biggest inspiration, and even to this day, I've just always admired the teams that he's coached, the way they competed, and we all got texts from Rick in our previous series, myself, Kyle Lowry, and Kevin Love, and that's how small this circle is. But Kyle, still points to Rick as being one of the biggest influences he's had as a player, because that allowed him to have the confidence to get to the next level as a starter. And Kevin felt the same way, as a young player in Minnesota, that Rick gave him a platform and confidence to become an all-star. And we were able to share, for a half hour in our lunchroom, just telling, great stories, about Rick and the Adelman family. They are an incredible family, and I think this is an amazing honor. And I love that I was just able to bump into him and spend some time with him out here.
Ramona in the back.
Hey, Spo, just changing the topic back to Kevin since you brought him up. He didn't play at all in the first game. What does he bring to your team, and what's he been able to do since you guys acquired him? And how would that skill set apply to a game like this if he were able to get in the game?
Yeah, I had every intention to play him in game one, and things just kind of like went a bunch of different ways. And nothing seemed to look right, including my decision making. But yes, he brings that veteran decorated playoff championship level experience. And you can't really quantify what that means, except for that he's been here. He can infuse a bunch of confidence in the guys, and he just has a timeliness of his winning plays. He's a tough competitor, and he's had some really important moments in this playoff run. Yeah, so I guess that kind of sums it up. Especially when you're playing a team like this.
Second row in the center.
Adelman, DNVR. Both teams have put a heavy emphasis on transition defense throughout the playoffs. How do you manage the reward of crashing the offensive glass or even hunting mismatches in the half court, knowing the risk that you're vulnerable in transition if you come up short on either of those things?
Yeah, I think that's the balance that everybody's trying to search for, in the playoffs. You start to face the better defenses in the league in the playoffs, and then I feel like every team is trying to generate easier looks. So you get to a certain point in the series, you're trying to find relief points in the open court, and you're weighing, crashing the glass versus getting back. I guess we've faced, some of the better running teams in the East so far. So we have kind of that urgency with that. But, Denver's unique. They also do it in a little bit of a different way. We managed that okay in game one, but we know it's a big part of their game.
Last
Okay.
question, Dan, back right.
Coach Dan Devine, Yahoo Sports. I just wanted to follow up on something you just said. You felt like nothing in game right kind of looked right or felt right, including your own decision making. I'm wondering what your process is like for evaluating your decision making after a game like that. Do you kind of apply the same scrutiny to yourself as you do looking at the game film? What does that look like for you?
Probably like any coach. We're masochistic, so yeah, it's not very unique to me. All right, thank you.